superhero.
Là nó bị nó lại phát hình ảnh. Hả?
Upper body.
Every time I say back time, it always puts in your time.
This is Fitness Blender's Body Weight Upper Body Workout. In this routine, we're going to be doing 7 different upper body exercises for 1-minute intervals each. We're only going to be going through one round, and there's not going to be any equipment required for this routine. We haven't included a warm-up or a cool-down, so you'll want to add one in on your own. Let's go ahead and get started with the first exercise, the sliding forearm press. Go ahead and get ready. And start up. Bring those forearms together, palms facing in towards each other. Squeeze those arms together as tightly as you possibly can. Really contract those chest muscles to squeeze those arms together. And then nice and slow, slide those arms up as high as you can without letting those elbows come apart. And then as low down as you can, as comfortable down to your chest. Then press them right back up again, working against yourself every single time you push up and pull back down. Now the main thing you want to get out of this workout is you want to constantly be working yourself. You want to have those muscles contracted as tightly as possible. The harder you push on this, the more you're going to get out of it, and you can actually get sore from this. But you've got to push yourself. Now we're just over halfway done. Go back through and check all of those arm muscles. Make sure you're squeezing those forearms together, getting a really nice tight squeeze on that chest, as well as getting those shoulders and lats pushing against each other as you squeeze those arms up really nice and high and then slowly pull them right back down. Also make sure those core muscles are nice and tight. We've only got 5 seconds left. Keep going. Really, really squeeze it. Nice hard push. And let it relax. Alright, let's go ahead and move to the next one. We're doing a tricep kickback. Same kind of idea. Go ahead and get ready. And start up. Go ahead and tip forward from those hips with a nice flat back. Get that chest as parallel to the ground as you can. Slight bend in those knees. Start that arm motion, extending those arms behind you and then pulling those hands all the way up to that shoulder joint. Working against yourself the entire time you're doing this. Just like the last exercise, you want to be pushing those arms out, those biceps, pulling those arms back in at the same time. Then nice and slow, squeeze those arms back into that shoulder with that tricep pulling against that bicep. Just keep pushing back and forth with both that front and back of your arm should be working at the same time. Now on top of those muscles working, you also want to make sure you're contracting those core muscles and lower back. Those thigh muscles should be nice and contracted. Those shoulder muscles and chest and upper back. Everything through your body should be at least a little bit contracted, but really, really focusing on that bicep and tricep, pressing that arm out to a full extension, and then squeezing it back in all the way up to that shoulder. Now just keep reminding yourself, the harder you work against yourself, the more you contract those muscles, the more you're going to get out of this from a calorie burn and a toning standpoint. Just got 5 seconds left. Keep it going. And let it relax. All right, go ahead and stand back up. We've got our chest presses coming up next. Go ahead and get ready. And start up with a nice flat back, nice neutral spine. Bring those arms back together, forearms together. Then you're going to squeeze those arms as far apart behind you as is comfortable, and then squeeze them back together in front of that chest. You're going to be using those pectoral muscles in that chest to squeeze those arms together, and you're going to be using those rhomboids and those trapezius muscles in your back to squeeze those arms apart. So just constantly working against yourself, pulling against those arms as you squeeze them back, and then pulling against them as you squeeze them back together. Now besides working on that chest and that back, you also want to keep that bicep and tricep contracted really nice and tight. Freeze that elbow at a 90-degree angle. Working that bicep and tricep against each other, as well as contracting all those core muscles, those abdominal muscles, those obliques, and that lower back. Everything should be nice and tight. Same thing with those legs. Those thighs, inner and outer thigh, the front of your thigh and the back of your thigh should all be completely tense, not only to get the most calorie burn out of this, but also to get the most tone out of this. There you go. We've got a few seconds left. Keep it going. Tense everything really nice and tight. 5 seconds left.
Hi.
Really squeeze it.
Hi.
And let it relax. All right, let's go and move on to the next exercise, arm circles. Go ahead and get ready. And start them up. Go ahead and get those arms straight out from those shoulders. You want to be drawing a circle about 12 inches in diameter right around that shoulder joint. So make sure you're stretching those arms back behind you as well as in front of you. Get that perfectly straight around that shoulder joint, directly out from those sides. Make sure that bicep and tricep is contracted really nice and tight, that chest and that upper back, as well as all of those core muscles and those legs. Everything through your body needs to be contracted. The only thing that's moving is that shoulder. And that is halfway right there. Go ahead and switch directions. Same exact circle, just moving in the opposite direction. Keep that arm nice and straight, bicep and tricep contracted. Check that chest and upper back. Make sure they're nice and solid, and that shoulder. Also check those abdominal muscles, those obliques and that lower back. Make sure all those core muscles are nice and solid. Contracting that quadricep, the top of that thigh, the hamstring, the back of that thigh, and that inside and outside thigh to make sure everything's nice and solid. You're burning as many calories as you can. We're almost done, just a few more seconds left.
3, 2, 1.
And go ahead and let it relax. All right, go ahead and move on to the next exercise. We're doing a rhomboid pull. Get ready. And start up. Those arms up nice and high. You want those forearms parallel to the ground this time. This is a similar motion to that chest press. The only difference is you're not going to be pushing quite so far in. You're going to be focusing on getting a little bit more of a squeeze back behind you. You want to keep that motion nice and solid. Tightly squeeze those elbows back behind you, working against yourself, that chest, getting a good tight squeeze on those rhomboids and those trapezius muscles, those muscles of the upper back. Remember, you also want to make sure those biceps and triceps are contracted really nice and tight, making that arm freeze that 90-degree angle. You also want to check those core muscles, make sure they're nice and tight, and those leg muscles, just like the last few exercises we've been doing. You want every single muscle in that body to be contracted to at least a small extent, but preferably you want to squeeze all of them so tight it's like your life depends on it. The harder you squeeze those muscles, the more calories you're going to burn, and just as importantly, the more tone you're going to have. The more solid those muscles are going to feel, even when you're not trying to contract them later on. You've got just a few seconds left, so really make sure you're pushing against yourself. We're almost done. And let it relax. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We're going to be doing a prone tricep push-up.
Okay ba? Okay.
Go ahead and get ready. And start up. So there's a nice basic version of a push-up. You're going to place those hands just a little bit lower than shoulder height. Focus on those triceps just a little bit more. Just a small range of motion at the very bottom of that range of motion from touching the ground to just want to be hinging from that lower back and from that hip socket. So you should actually feel a little bit of a stretch through your abdominal muscles and into the front of that hip joint. So if you're doing this right, you're just a couple of inches, a little bit of a stretch to those abdominal muscles and hips. You want to keep those hips completely in contact with the ground the entire time. Just a little bit of tension on those arms, constantly keeping that tension on there. Never let yourself completely relax down onto that mat. Just keep going, nice, slow, controlled motions. Contract everything else through your body. Make sure you're contracting those thighs, that butt. You want to contract your abdominal muscles, those obliques, that lower back to get that core really nice and tight. That chest and that upper back should also be contracted, just like the rest of these exercises. The more muscles you contract, the more calories you're going to burn, the more tone you're going to get. Just 5 seconds left. We're almost done. And let it relax. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to that next exercise. This is the last exercise of this routine, and we're going to be doing wall push-ups plus a pulse. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Starting with those hands up against the wall and those feet about 2 to 4 feet away from the base of that wall. The further you put those feet away, the harder it's going to be. The closer in those feet, the easier it's going to be. So just pick a foot place that's going to be appropriate for you, and then start into that motion. Drop down towards that wall, get as close as you possibly can, and then slowly press away, getting a full extension of those arms, keeping just a little bit of a bend in that elbow the entire time before you slowly drop back in towards that wall. Just keep it going, keep everything contracted nice and tight. You want those core muscles contracted and those legs. And let's go ahead and drop it down, freeze at the bottom of that range of motion. You can do a really short range of motion, just about an inch or two away from that wall with those short pulses. Just keep it going, nice tight contraction on those arms. Remember, check everything else of that body, make sure all those other muscles are nice and tight as well. And we're almost done, just 10 seconds left. Keep that motion really low, close to that wall, just a couple of inches away from that wall. Everything else nice and tense to all those core muscles, those leg muscles. We're almost done. And let it relax. Alright, good job. This workout is complete. You just finished Fitness Blunder's body weight upper body workout.
Diba? Sakit ka sa bukod. Mapay ko gibangita.
Hey guys, it's Kelly from fitnesslearner.com, and today I have a very short, very effective butt and thigh workout for you. You're not going to need a single piece of equipment for this, and in under 5 minutes, your muscles are going to be screaming and burning like crazy. Let's go ahead and get started. Make sure that you do a warm-up before you jump into this routine. Otherwise, you're doing 40 seconds on, 5 seconds off, and we're starting off with ski squats. So the stand's nice and close, feet close together. Just sink back into a squat. Keep your back flat. Keep your on, 5 seconds off. sink back into a squat. Keep your back flat. Keep your gaze forward. Make sure you're not rounding your shoulders or tucking your head in. Nice flat back and press up through those heels on your way up. Make sure you're squeezing your glutes all the way up. Inhale all the way down. Exhale on the way up. Seconds left. Next up, we're doing sumo squats. So, same thing, we're doing a squat, but a lot lighter stance on this one. Alright, so 5 seconds rest. Very quick transition. Set those feet, sink down into your squat. So really deep, same rules. Keep your back flat, your gaze up, press up through your heels. You're going to feel this from the outside of your legs as well into glutes.
Hi, baby.
Nice and easy so far, right? Just wait till the next intervals. If you need to stop, you can. It's a very quick routine, but it is really intense, so if you need to stop, you can. Otherwise, grab weights and you can make it even harder. The next step, we're doing pop squats. So get a nice little break here. Keep moving. So that. So down, pop your feet back up together. Each time, you're touching down with the opposite hand. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Seconds. Just filmed another lower body routine before this, so I don't know how these next couple intervals are going to go. It could get ugly. Bear with me. 2, 1. Okay, jog for just a second. Next up, we're doing a squat hold. So just sinking down. Really complaining. Again, try to keep your weight in your heels. You can even lift your pads your feet up off the ground. That's how much you want to be leaning back. Stay as low as you can. You can always pop up. Stretch them out if you need to. Always stay down. Okay, the bad news is the next interval is really hard. The good news is we don't have 2 left. Okay. Our next one is a squat pulse. So same thing, we're going down in that squat, pulsing right here. Just staying in that really painful part of it. And not coming up. Whew. This burns. Shake it out if you need to. When you're pulsing, it's really smooth, soft motion. You're not jerking, just keep it nice and smooth. You guys are done already. I don't know you guys. 5 seconds left. 2, 1. Shake them out real quick. Oh, that burns. Okay. Last one. Jump squat. As well.
You hide over here, hide over here, hide. Hide here. You
Not pushing. Make sure you're landing soft. 20 seconds left. That's our halfway point. There you go. So take a big break. Sometimes just a 1 or 2 second break is enough to go back into it. 5 seconds. 2, 1. Oh my gosh. Okay. I hope you liked it. Make sure that you do a cool down and stretch. Good job, guys. This workout is complete.
Isir kayo pero dilim. Dali. Kangak.
guys, I'm Kelly from fitnessblender.com, and today I have a button thigh workout for you that doesn't use any equipment at all, meaning you can do this anywhere. I haven't included your warm-up or your cool-down, so make sure you get each of those. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, we are doing 50 seconds on with 10 seconds rest. It's a nice quick transition here. We're starting off with a basic squat. So you're going to have your feet apart, and you're going to keep your back nice and flat as you sink down. You're going to start that engagement at the hips, so sink your butt out behind you, and then sink down, like I said, keeping your back nice and flat, and the majority.
Oh, sakit ang paa, uy. Tumawa is real. Ano pang tubig? Good shoes.
Hindi naman kaya ng sayaw.
Uy, boy!
No, faster! Abby's rescues us. Go on, faster. Boom. Hinahalan niya ako.
What? Isa ba ilamin ni mo?
Papa, ako na start kasi naman. Let's dance! Sige, dance pa.
Are you like that?
Can I eat? That. Or that. Woo! Ablong, kinsa na ikabitse? Mukhang ka dili. Pero sa mga gatas, sa alugol. Wala po